started as an idea. What if we made a Deadpool movie? There was only a few of us back then, and looking back, we had no idea how big it would become. So innocent, and yet the momentum that had started. Yeah, that was not really what we had in mind. Nope, that didn't help things. It was more of a hell no, to be honest. I mean, we eventually stopped asking. We have no idea how that happened, but I promise you, I'm looking into it.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Deadpool X-Men video over at Marvel. You probably saw the recent interviews that Rob Liefeld was doing, making all kinds of claims about Marvel having no plan to do a new Deadpool movie, so we'll break it down and explain what's going on behind the scenes. Why is he complaining so much about no Deadpool over at Marvel when Ryan Reynolds himself said that they're working on the movie right now? If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing a new Amazon giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what you want them to do with Deadpool inside the MCU. So just going down the list here, starting with number 5. If you missed the news, Rob Liefeld, creator of the Deadpool character at Marvel Comics, did 2 separate interviews a couple weeks ago, making a whole lot of noise about why he felt like Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige are not doing Deadpool 3. During those, he also talked about the mainstream X-Men characters too, claiming that they're inside a break this glass in case of emergency box inside Marvel Studios right now. As in, they would only use big X-Men characters if there was some huge emergency with one of their upcoming movies. After he did those, the larger internet sort of picked those interviews up and you started to see headlines everywhere about Rob Liefeld claiming that there is no Deadpool 3 movie. So after that, he tried to do a follow-up interview walking back some of his statements and clarifying what he meant when he said that there's no new Deadpool movie at Marvel. So he's a comic book creator who has a history of getting into trouble online, beefing with people. Way back in the day before Twitter existed, going all the way back to the 90s, he used to get into a lot of flame wars on forums because that's where people did that kind of thing in the comic book community. Now that kind of stuff has just made its way onto social media. So hearing that he's making a lot of noise complaining about what Marvel is or is not doing with characters that he helped create isn't a brand new thing. He's done this before. Number 4, I've already done a couple of Deadpool 3 videos based on clips of Ryan Reynolds talking about the movie, explaining what's going on with it. Between those and the comments of the Deadpool movie writers, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, you get a pretty good idea of what's actually going on with Deadpool in general over at Marvel right now. Not just the Deadpool 3 movie, but Deadpool as a character inside the MCU. Late last year around the holidays, he went on talk shows promoting his Ugly Sweater charity, and during those he said, "We're working on Deadpool 3 right now over at Marvel." Pretty general statement, like yes, things are happening, but I can't get into details. He met with Kevin Feige at their offices a little before that, cracking jokes about auditioning to replace Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark unsuccessfully. Then probably the best clip of him explaining what's going on over at Marvel came from Fallon the other day, where he tries to explain how the Deadpool character is going to fit into the MCU and how the Deadpool 3 movie is going to exist at Disney, MCU or not in the MCU. His statement was something to the effect that if Deadpool 3 winds up being in the MCU, it's going to be amazing to be able to play inside that sandbox with all the pre-existing Marvel characters, the big Avengers characters in their canon. And if Deadpool 3 winds up not being in the MCU and just being its own thing off to the side, then they can also do pretty much whatever they want, and that would also be amazing. The fact that Ryan Reynolds put it that way made it pretty clear that Marvel and Kevin Feige right now just haven't 100% decided whether or not they want Deadpool 3 to be a traditional MCU movie like all the others, mostly because it's supposed to be rated R franchise, and Disney isn't known for releasing a ton of rated R movies. That's also why there are no rated R movies on Disney Plus right now. Right around Avengers Endgame, when they completed the buyout of Fox, the powers that be claimed that they were going to let Deadpool continue to be rated R, so I think a lot of us just naturally assumed that Deadpool 3 would kind of be like the New Mutants movie when it came to MCU continuity, and they would just treat it like it's its own separate thing. The mythical New Mutants movie that hopefully we'll be able to see someday is a Marvel horror movie with X-Men characters. It's not rated R, it's PG-13, but because it was made at Fox before the buyout, Marvel is now releasing the movie, but technically it's not being treated like a traditional MCU movie. It's just a movie with Marvel branding and characters, and there won't be any big MCU post-credit scenes or anything like that. And if it makes a lot of money, there's always the potential for those characters to return in other Marvel movies or Disney Plus projects in the future. So 3, the reason why people flipped a little when Rob Liefeld came out and said there were no plans at Marvel for Deadpool movies is mostly because he has been involved at some level with the development of the previous Deadpool movies at Fox, so he's not completely on the outside on all this big movie stuff. He actually does have people that he knows and talks to at Marvel about what's going on with movie stuff. He's the creator of the character, so when Fox greenlit the first Deadpool movie, they brought him in as a creative advisor. Marvel doesn't do that as much nowadays, but it does let comic book creators do big cameos, Stan Lee style. Best recent example is Jim Starlin. The person who created Thanos had a huge cameo scene in Avengers Endgame as that grief counselor at the beginning of the movie. If you haven't watched that first Deadpool movie in a while, Rob Liefeld had a cameo scene as one of the bar patrons. It's a blink and you'll miss it kind of cameo, but he is in there. In real life, though, as a comic book creator, he doesn't have a great relationship with Marvel. He has a history of disputes with them over comic book stuff, over business and financial matters. Now that Kevin Feige has 100% taken control of Marvel Comics, that kind of puts him on the outs with Marvel Studios tangentially. Usually in the past, if someone seems like they're making too much noise or too hot to handle, Marvel will just ignore them or freeze them out or stop returning their phone calls. So a lot of people just felt like maybe he's just upset that Marvel doesn't seem like they plan to involve him in Deadpool 3 on any kind of creative level. Number 2, the core of his statements about there not being a Deadpool movie in Marvel mostly revolve around the idea that it's only because Marvel hasn't officially put Deadpool 3 on the schedule, and he's trying to say that Marvel won't take Deadpool 3 seriously until they make it official and put it on the schedule. Like, remember the big Marvel Phase 4 schedule revealed at Comic-Con? They revealed 11 projects in 2 years, including Disney Plus series, and then a little while after that, they published part of their Marvel Phase 5 movie schedule through 2022. So this isn't all the Marvel Phase 5 movies, it's just through 2022. Some of these mystery Phase 5 movies have been revealed since then, but obviously they haven't officially put Deadpool 3 on this schedule yet. Rob Liefeld claims he knows what Marvel's full 5-year movie plan is, and he said he didn't see Deadpool on it, and somehow that means they're not going to do Deadpool 3. But when you really think about it, that's kind of a ridiculous statement. The reality, I think, is that a lot of you have guessed, based on Ryan Reynolds' comments, the reason why Deadpool isn't already officially on the schedule is because, one, Ryan Reynolds just booked a ton of other movie projects. He's making a movie with The Rock right now. It got shut down because of the virus, so already pretty much everything has been delayed for at least a half a year. Then once Kevin Feige starts making noise officially about Deadpool 3, it usually takes him about 3 years to get a movie out because it gives him about a year to do the script and then 2 years to actually film and complete the movie in post-production. And right now, Marvel just doesn't want to announce every single movie for the next 5 years, because if anything in the last couple of months have shown you is that plans for movies can change on a dime. Think about what the virus did to the Phase 4 schedule, not just at Marvel, but pretty much every other studio. Every single Marvel Phase 4 movie just got delayed big time. Even a couple years ago, they had to completely take Guardians of the Galaxy 3 off the schedule. So number 1, it just doesn't make sense for Marvel to give dates for every single movie, including Deadpool 3, if it's not ready to release it in the next 2 years. One of the main reasons why you usually hear Rob Liefeld making a lot of noise about Deadpool is just because he's the most popular character he's ever created, and he still earns a lot of money from the licensing deals and the toy sales, the comic book sales, merchandise, all that stuff. So the more money the Deadpool character makes just in general from all the different revenue streams, the more money he winds up making at the end of the day. So of course he would make a lot of noise about Deadpool. Recently, Netflix also bought the rights to his Extreme Universe characters like the Youngblood characters, and they also just greenlit a Prophet movie for one of his other characters. Mark Guggenheim, the creator of Arrow, is also going to be writing that movie. So at the end of the day, Liefeld is kind of a hype man for himself, so anytime there's stuff that's announced, projects that he's working on, you can usually count on him to make a lot of noise about stuff, and while that happens, he usually also gets asked a lot of Deadpool questions. So I wouldn't take his comments about Deadpool not happening at Marvel too seriously. I would take more cues from Ryan Reynolds and the other people at Marvel. They say that they're working on it, so I would take them at their word. They are working on it. Right now, just because so much stuff has been delayed, I would say earliest we see Deadpool 3 now is probably 2023. So just mark your calendars, and if they have any more updates or official news about Deadpool 3, of course I'll do a new video about it. But leave all your big questions and your reactions in the comments below. Everyone click here for that full Deadpool 3 Ryan Reynolds clip, and click here for my brand new Marvel Ghost Rider project breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.